Okay, so here we go. So the majority of the report is what happened between April 19 and March 20, and then I've also stuck on the end an interim report for what we've been doing since coronavirus, which is probably quite a lot, so which wasn't in the work plan. So I'm going to take myself off the screen because I can't see my screen, because all I can see is everybody over the top of it. So I'm going to minimize you all. So it's going to feel like I'm talking to nobody. So if you have a question or you put your hand up, I won't see you, but I'll hear you if you shout. But if you want to wait till the end, that'd make it easier. So I'm not ignoring you if you are waving at me. I can't see you. Okay. So we received our first tranche of 3-year funding from Reaching Communities National Lotteries Fund at the end of March 2019. We recruited 2 development workers, 20 hours, that's me, and 10 hours, that's Phil, and a part-time administrator, as Marion said. We started with Meg, then it went to Eve, and now we've got the lovely Nikki. And we all started on the 1st of June. And Geraldine wrote this bit. We are all talented and motivated people who hit the ground running from day one. Thank you, Geraldine, for that lovely accolade. And that's me. And there's our Phil. So moving on to the next slide. So achievements and performances during the year. We've increased the number of our members from 88 to 185. Now that was up until the 31st of March. We now have up to 500 members. During COVID, it's gone through the roof, but as at the time of writing the report on the 31st of March, it was 185 members. And we also now have a much broader demographic of people. Our members tended to be mostly in central Halifax when we first started, and now we have people from all over Calderdale. Before we started, we had quite a low representation of members from the smaller towns, and we've done lots of development work in Brighouse, Sowerby Bridge, Todmorden to increase those membership from those areas. We also wanted to increase the diversity of our members. We identified that many of our members were not under the age of 25. We had lots of older members, and the majority of our members were white people. So we wanted to work with younger adults and also Asian people, especially Asian women. So we went around lots of places, public and private places, and also voluntary groups and organisations, and ran various events. And we promoted ourselves to these groups, and we have seen 50 new Asian members, and about 30 of those are young Asian people and mothers of disabled Asian children, who eventually, when they become adults, of course, will be members in their own right. That on the top right hand corner there, that's the lovely Samina Arshad, who's really keen to get involved with our organisation as well. So during the year, we've developed our website. Phil has done an absolutely sterling job on making our website one of the best around. We've even gone viral during coronavirus. We have people coming from all over the country to look at our website to get the information they need. But up until the 31st of March, we'd had 5,258 people visiting, which compared to the year before was only 2,957, is almost double. You'll see further down the presentation how much it's actually increased again, and you'll be surprised. So if you just bear that number in mind, in 2018, 2,957 in a whole year. Wait till I tell you how we've done during COVID. But moving on for the moment, by March 2020, we had 350 people signed up to receive our newsletter. Currently, that is now over 500, again, it going up through the roof. And hard copies are also sent out at the time of writing this report to 55 people on the mailing list. This is people who are not, they're not very fluent with IT, they may not have the equipment, they may just prefer a hard copy to come through the post, and we send that to 55 people. Now, during coronavirus, we're sending it to over 100 people every week. Okay, oh, I've gone too far. So the achievements and performances, we've taken part in many engagement exercises and consultations on behalf of the public sector, and we're now recognised by all the big organisations as a conduit for engagement with disabled people in Calderdale. The big ones come to us. So at our open meetings, this is just a couple of pictures from our January open meeting, where we had speakers from the visual impairments team and the hearing impairments team at the council, and also the access to work. A lady was talking about access to work. So we run bi-monthly open meetings, which are open to our members and the general public. But after engagement with our members, we realised that it'd be much more beneficial if each open meeting had a theme rather than being a generic theme aimed at all disabilities. So what we did was we decided to structure each meeting. In January, the theme was sensory impairments, which is the two you can see above. Now, the March meeting was planned to be about wheelchairs and access, but this was cancelled because of coronavirus lockdown. What we did was the videos on there were taken and then Phil put them on our website and on our YouTube channel so that anybody that would like the information can see them. They're there for the public to look at, and also if anyone didn't make the meeting, they would see them afterwards. And that was what we plan to do with all our open meetings from now on, is to record them and put them on the website as a resource for people to use. So partnerships, as you can see on the right there, the big ones. We've made partnerships with over 40 professionals in the public sector, including the NHS Trust, which run the hospitals, the CCG and the Calderdale Council. And we've got representation on various engagement panels and steering groups that consider issues and feedback from disabled people about services, and we take part in their engagement working groups. So basically, if any of the public and statutory sectors want to change something, they ask us to find out what disabled people think about their plans. And we're also part of the Yorkshire and Humber Regional Stakeholder Network, which feeds directly into Westminster, the government's disability unit. So the top people are listening to what our members say. So our partners actually share our details with their users and refer people to us. So this is a picture of a screensaver that I did, and this screensaver is actually on all the Calderdale Council's what they call computers. So when the Calderdale Council workers stop working and the screensaver pops up, this is what they see, amongst other things as well. We also have leaflets in the waiting areas and screensavers in various other places, so that service users can see what we are and hopefully join us. So we're also really keen to work with lots of local charities and voluntary groups. There's lots of us in the partnership, and we work with anyone and everyone that serves disabled people, including services that provide signposting, support and advice, day centres and social clubs. So we've got the Wheelchair Enabling Society, we've got Unique Ways, the Macular Society, Halifax Society for the Blind, Skillshop and Pennine Magpie Day Centres, Calderdale Deaf Association, Accessible Calderdale, Visits Unlimited, Lead the Way, Cloverleaf Advocacy and Hebden Bridge Disability Access Forum. They're the main ones that we work with regularly, but there are plenty others as well. So I'll apologise now for any of those who are watching this that we've missed off. Some of these organisations have signed up to be affiliate members of Disability Partnership Calderdale, and also they have now got a dedicated page on our website where people can actually be signposted from us to them, and we're hoping to make many more organisations affiliates. We're working currently with 5 of these organisations to share their information and publicise the services to our members, and hopefully they'll become affiliates quite soon. Moving on, so engagements and consultations. We've taken part in various engagement and consultation for the council and the NHS, and we've also done our own work as well, because it's a two-way process. They come to us to find out what they need to know, and in return, anything that we find out, they're happy to receive and they do something about it. Recently, our lovely Peter was in hospital and he didn't have a very pleasant experience, and he gave us his story, and I took that story straight to the head of patient experience at Calderdale Hospital, and they've now had a meeting about that, and she's sending me through some recommendations to how they're going to change things to make it better for people in the future. So that's a really good piece of work that we're at the heart of. So I'm just going to zoom through this. So we've done surveys, we do focus groups, we take people to the services, we take working panels with planning architects, we've presented plans, we do it at our open meetings, and we publish the details on our website for consideration and comment by our members. So there's a whole range of ways in which we do this. I am rushing through this because if you can see the words, you can read them, but if not, hopefully you're getting the gist of what I'm saying. I don't want to spend half an hour talking. Okay, so a few examples of engagement that we've taken part in. As you can see on the left, you've got a picture here of lovely Malcolm and Marion and Mark at the IMAX cinema, because we also work with private services. It's not just all the council and the NHS. We will work with anyone that provides a service that can be made better for disabled people. We'll try and do our best to have a say. So some of the one on the right, the list on the right, are just some of the ones we've been involved with. So we looked at how disabled people experience the NHS. We've been instrumental in the redevelopment of the bus station, the A629 and the town centre, the Victoria Theatre and the proposal of a new lift so that disabled people can actually get to the bar and have a drink. The Northgate area, the Halifax Central Library and the Sixth Form College building. We've looked at budget consultations. We've looked at how the NHS engage with their patients and what they think about GP surgeries, and also the Bradford Media Museum, which is what the picture is on the left that you can see there. We've also been to lots of events, marketing and promoting ourselves to raise awareness of who we are, what we do, and to get more members. We've been to great big events at the Peace Hall that have spanned a whole weekend, right down to some small focus groups with only 10 people. But at each one, we've given an information stall, we've given out leaflets and signed up anybody that wanted to join and signposted people to our website for more information. We've also found these very fruitful because that's the place we've made all the contacts with all our other organisations and partners who also have the same outlook that we have, in particular the voluntary sector. So last two slides on this year, two lovely case studies to finish with before I go into COVID response. So this is just a nice story. Sunflower Lanyards help send students. At a recent open meeting back in January, one of our lovely members, Julie, who was meant to be joining us today, but I don't think she managed to get in, told us about her sunflower lanyard and how it helped her. And she advised the local Sainsbury's stores for providing these free of charge. So I went to Calderdale College the following day and I was at a focus group with a group of young people. And I told them about the lanyards and they were so impressed that Jason Barlow, one of our younger members, went down to Sainsbury's in his lunchtime and got 20 lanyards and gave all of his classmates one each. Wow. So they all wear them now. And so since then, many more students at Calderdale College wear the lanyard, which help people recognise that people have additional needs, because not all disabilities are visible. And then the second case study, which is a lovely story, the headline for this is the lady with multiple sclerosis who starts horse riding again. So I went to promote DPC at an exercise class that Eve was doing for the MS Society, for its members. I was just talking generally about DPC and one lady joined up. And while she was looking through our website, through our affiliate page, she came across Calderdale RDA. RDA means Riding for the Disabled Association. She'd ridden horses in the past and loved to ride, but hadn't done since she'd been diagnosed with MS. So she contacted them, got back on the saddle, if you like, and is now a regular attendee, and she's rekindled her love for riding, and that's through us putting her in touch with those. So that's a really nice story to end on.
Well done.
Thank you. So that was 1920 in a nutshell. Now, I think next year's AGM might have to be an hour long because next year's report is going to be massive, but this is just a very quick 7 slides whistle-stop tour of what we've done in reaction to the pandemic from March until now. Right. So many of our members, this is how has our COVID-19 affected us and our members. Many of our members are clinically vulnerable and either shielding or self-isolating. All such are face-to-face, I'll start again. As such, all our face-to-face activities have stopped. Our meetings and consultations have moved to online via Zoom, and people have found it hard to get the information they need. So as I said earlier at the beginning of the presentation, that number was at 2,500 and something. We now see over 4,000 visits a month and over 1,000 visits a day. During the peak, when the first lockdown started, we were seeing 4,000 visits a day on our website. People from all over the country are Googling, how do I get a face mask exemption card? How do I get a lanyard? And when they put it into Google, we were coming up first. So we've gone from 2,500 in a year to 4,000 a day. It's immense, the increase in work that we've done. And we've had 150 new member requests and subscribers to our newsletter in the first 3 months of lockdown. And this is mainly because people need the information that's specific to them in a simple and easy to understand format that's not pages and pages of drivel that they can't find the information they need. So Phil does an absolutely amazing job at sifting through the plethora of information and picking out the bits that are specific to disabled people and putting stories on the website and in newsletters that are relevant and to the point and easy to understand. So how do we react? We received funding from the Community Foundation for Calderdale to increase our newsletter from monthly to weekly. As you know, we used to send this newsletter out every month. Some people may have received it. The picture on the right is a picture of the printed version. It's usually 4 sides of A4, and this gets sent out to 105 people every week. There's also an online one which goes to over 500 people every week, which is absolutely amazing, and people are subscribing to that every single week. We also increased the web capacity, so Phil had to upgrade the website so that it could hold the sheer volume of news that's now going out. We used to run 20 stories a month. Now we're producing over 100 stories a month. I want to say we, I mean Phil. Phil's doing all this. It's all been done in an easy to understand format that I said earlier, in a specifically for people with disabilities. And I've just said that we are uniquely placed to provide an independent information-based support service. People find Googling difficult. They might Google it and 25 different things come up, or they may not have access to a computer. But additionally, Phil actually subscribes to the press releases from the government. So when the journalists get the news, so does Phil. And Phil can react immediately, and we can get news on our website the very same day, which a lot of organisations can't. And I think because we can mobilise so quickly, it's one of the reasons why people come to us for the quick news, because they know they're going to get it, and it's credible news because it's from the government and it's from the council. So moving on. Oh, too far. Oh, heck, I'm having technical difficulties. Oh, heck, behave. There, right. What have people told us? So we've had lots of people calling and emailing and telling us the problems that they have. One of the main problems, especially at the start of lockdown, was people struggling to get the food shopping. They couldn't get shopping delivered, and also they found it really hard when they were going out shopping. The social distancing and COVID safe measures are really hard. For example, some people can't understand the one-way systems. Some can't manoeuvre their wheelchair or walking aid or stick, but they're finding the queuing up is very tiring. If people have got guide dogs, it's really difficult to socially distance because guide dogs are not trained to socially distance. And hearing impaired people can't read the lips of shop staff who are wearing masks. Some people can't wear the face coverings because of their disability. They may have COPD or some other form of disability which people can't see. And in many cases, this has caused people distress. People haven't wanted to go out shopping, and some people have been victims of hate incidents and hate crime. The perpetrators of these incidents don't believe the disabled person and just won't understand their needs. So what did we do about it? Well, first we created a local food delivery list where we basically went round all the local shops, but not supermarkets, but any shop that delivers groceries. Oh, hang on, I'm going to stop. There's somebody called Tom Hartshorn has entered the waiting room. I'm going to admit Tom, and I'm going to carry on talking. Okay. So what happened was we created a list which had many organisations and shops, and it got bigger and bigger every day. The local authority then adopted this and put it on their website. We also distributed lightweight disposable face masks. We got given 2,000 masks from Calderdale Council, and anyone that would like the masks are distributed free of charge in packs of 10. We also purchased clear visors so that taxi drivers or shopkeepers would be able to lip read, and any person that would prefer a visor to a solid mask would also get one if they asked for one. And the picture on the right is lovely Teresa, one of our members, wearing one that she came along, which she found in Huddersfield, which is a clear mask, which we're looking at getting as well. So next slide. Oh, carrying on. How else we reacted? We bought, using our funds, hundreds of sunflower lanyards and face covering exempt cards, which we sent out to anybody that wanted one. If they weren't a member, we did ask that they become a member though, because of the cost of them and also the cost of posting them. we also got these ones. Now these ones are blue ones, and they are created, we did it together with Calderdale Council and Calderdale CCG. So they've got the NHS logo on, and we bought some Disability Partnership Calderdale lanyards that our members and trustees wear, so that they're a bit more credible than just one that you can buy from a shop. So because the sunflower ones have run out, we've now been sending these ones out, and we send them to anybody that wants one in Calderdale. One of the negative parts of COVID is that we're noticing that disability hate crime has increased. People have told us they've been victims of incidents and crime, especially when going to the shops. Name calling, pushing in the queue, pulling of the lanyard. One boy was even punched in the face. A young man rang up Nikki and spoke to Nikki because he wanted to order a new lanyard. And when she asked him, you know, why did you lose your lanyard? He said, oh, well, these bullies, they pulled it and they snapped it and they punched me in the face and said I was stupid and I was trying to get to the front of the queue and I was pushing it. And he wasn't calling to report the crime, he was calling to get a new lanyard. And he didn't even realise that he could or should report this. So what we did was we worked with Calderdale's Hate Crime Partnership and the police to create a campaign to raise awareness for hate crime. So what we did was we actually had a webinar. So it was live via Zoom. Calderdale Council very kindly hosted it for us, and it's now on the Calderdale Council's webpage. And on there you can see the picture. We had the police, we had a lady from the Crown Prosecution Service, we had victim support and various other people. We had the head of the Hate Crime Partnership and the head of mosques. And they were talking about how to recognise a hate incident, what it looks like, what it feels like. If you're the recipient of this, or if you see somebody receiving this, how to report it and what support is available for you if you do that. And we're continuing all the time to share this because it's a really important message that we have to get out. So for the new year, this is the last slide, you'll be pleased to know. We've got some plans. Hopefully we're going to get out of this lockdown sometime. We've got this wonderful new project called In Touch, which Phil and Phil's wife Julie are leading on. We've been funded by Community Foundation for Calderdale to teach people how to use online technology so that they can Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Skype the video of the friends and families. So we're going to train them how to use the equipment. And if they don't have the equipment, we're going to give them some equipment on loan if they don't already have it, and the funding covers the cost of that. Additionally, we're going to continue to work with the police and the Hate Crime Partnership. We've currently got a funding bid at the moment. We'll find out in December if it's been successful, to create various videos and resources about hate crime in various languages. A British Sign Language version, a version with subtitles, an audio version, and various languages such as Urdu and Polish. So fingers crossed we get that funding bid. And of course, we're going to continue to promote us to partners, broaden our membership even further, and hopefully maybe even broaden out a little bit further afield from Calderdale, maybe into our neighbouring authorities, if we are able to. And as soon as it's safe to do so, start to plan our open meetings again. And of course, we all need some good old knees up and social time. So we need to have an outdoor event in the summer and a big Christmas party. And I was last year having our knees up dressed as elves. So you can see the lovely Anne and the lovely Peter, and Teresa's there, and Shabia's on the floor, breakdancing dressed as an elf. It was a lovely party, and hopefully next year's party will be even bigger and a bigger reason to celebrate. And that's the end of the presentation. Some contact details there, and that's us.